Tornado warning for southwestern Pittsburgh County in southeastern Oklahoma.
Well, good evening, everyone. It is almost 10 o'clock on Wednesday, February 15th, and showing you the radar screen there because that is something I thought I would not be seeing tonight. I thought I would see a little bit more than a blank screen, but we'll talk about that in just a second. So I wanted to give everyone a quick update on what you can expect the rest of your evening and during overnight hours, and we'll dive in a little bit about tomorrow and the rest of the week toward the end. So here you go. Here's the radar. And as you can see, there's nothing anywhere near the Metroplex. I'll show you some of the nearest precipitation here in just a second. Our good old capping inversion. Talked about that this morning. Thinking it was going to break. It was not an overly strong cap to begin with, but of course it doesn't take a strong cap to keep thunderstorm development at a minimum. Just thought that this cap would be weak enough to be overcome by the humidity that we got back this afternoon, the sunshine we got. But now that it's nighttime, obviously the capping inversion, not that it's been overly strengthened since after sunset. It's just that it hasn't certainly gotten any weaker, and that hasn't helped our thunderstorm chances. Of course, nobody wanted to see severe thunderstorms, but I was thinking we might get a little bit of rain out of it, and we still could, and we'll talk about that in just a second. So let's put this in motion, and I'll show you what we've seen so far. So you can see some storms up near Wichita Falls, northeast of Wichita Falls, moving northeast. We had one little thunderstorm that tried to develop here in the last couple of hours. If I could get this highlighted again, you can see right here, try to get that storm right there, and it didn't last very long at all. So that was probably about 30 minutes ago. There's a perfect example of it trying to break the cap, and it just wasn't able to do it. It tried there for just a second, but wasn't able to do that. So there's a good example of how strong that cap was. So we'll stop that, and let's see, we'll get rid of this, and I'll put this in motion again. But what you can see is right here is where our dry line is. So if we put that in motion, you can kind of get a better idea of where it is. Toward the last couple of frames, it'll show up. So that's our dry line, and you can see that storm moved off of it, and that's another reason it probably fell apart. So dry line right now is probably just west of Tarrant County in the eastern part of Wise County, head toward Denton County. That will not do us any favors as far as thunderstorm development. However, it is still west of us, so there still is a chance. So let's broaden this picture out just a little bit. Kind of get you.
Northern Johnson County in southeastern Oklahoma, east central Carter County in southern Oklahoma, southern Pontotoc County in east central Oklahoma, eastern Murray County in southern Oklahoma.
Well, as you can tell, that's where all the action is. So nothing for us, obviously. Even have a tornado warning up here. And you can see all these numbers, all these hail markers. It has had quite a bit of hail with this. And that's kind of what we were thinking earlier today, that if we did see storms, which thankfully we didn't, but if we did see storms, we would definitely see a lot of hail producers. And that's what we've seen in Oklahoma. So really what's happened is in the beginning of the day, we did have a capping inversion. It kind of was over this area right here. And let me see if I can span it out a little bit here. Actually, I don't know if it'll let me do that with this. Try it this way here. Let's see. There we go. So really, most of the day we had a capping inversion in this area, and everything north of this part of the cap, if you will, did break, and of course it's moved out to the north. Everything on this side of the Red River, basically the cap held. So it is that's really the story of the night, is that our capping inversion held, and we didn't see a lot of thunderstorm development. Now here's what we can expect the rest of the night. This front that you see here is probably a little bit further to the west than it really is. Of course, they got the dry line out here, so it's a little bit further west. So I would say that the front is probably, get the right color for our front here. The front right now is probably somewhere like this and moving in this direction. So I think there's a decent chance that as the front gets probably closer to the Metroplex, we may see a line of storms form. I think it'd be pretty thin.
warning for
Well,
western
hold on.
Lincoln County in northwestern Arkansas, Delaware County in northeastern Oklahoma, southeastern Mays County in northeastern Oklahoma, northwestern Adair County in northeastern Oklahoma, northeastern Cherokee County in east central Oklahoma.
All right, we're gonna mute that, so, so we don't have to listen to that. I apologize about that. Anyway, if you're just tuning in, none of those warnings were for our area. So, like I was saying, I think as the front gets closer, we will see not necessarily a guarantee, but we will see maybe a thin line of storms form, and then move across Dallas Fort Worth, probably between the 11 p.m. midnight type time frame. It is not out of the realm of possibilities that some of those storms could be severe if they even form. But the most likely scenario would be, let me move that up a little bit so you can see that a little bit better. So the most likely scenario is that we would see a thin line of storms come through like this, maybe some gusty winds, maybe small hail. It wouldn't last very long. And then after that, it's over. So this is not going to be an all-night event by any stretch of the imagination. So don't worry about that. I would say the further east you are, maybe a midnight, 12:30 type thing, if these storms even form. So as you can see from the radar, they haven't even formed yet. So that's there's no guarantee we'll even see anything. Which is, I think it's safe to say, is good news in the sense that we're not going to see a big severe weather outbreak. Thank goodness. And of course, we weren't really expecting that anyway. So just a quick summary. This is a severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect until 10 o'clock, which is 10 minutes away. So I just would be shocked if they extended this. Not out of the realm of possibility, but they could extend it. So just something to keep in mind. And then if, let's see, let's go over to here. And then the other thing from a timing standpoint, again, like I said, midnight. If you're southeast of Dallas Fort Worth, maybe up to 3 a.m. But I think if the line forms at all, I think the further east you get, I think the cap will work on that. So I think the further east you are, I think your chances are had lesser chances of seeing rain. I can't talk; it's getting late. Than you even do in Dallas Fort Worth. So. Anyway, so I just think it's someone was asking me earlier about the capping inversion and holding tight, and like I said at the very beginning, it definitely held tight. There's no doubt about that. This is early; it's not even spring technically, but this is early in the severe weather season, so it takes a lot to get things going. I even made my way a little bit west, thinking I would chase a couple of storms tonight, but then I didn't take me very long to turn around and go back home because it just wasn't going to happen. And thankfully, I didn't go too far because it definitely didn't happen. But there'll be plenty of other times to chase in the near future. All right, so let's go back to the radar real quick one more time. Let's see, Rick. 5 a.m. drive to work will be easy. Well, weather-wise, yeah. Traffic-wise, that's a whole other story, my friend. Depends on your commute. But yeah, weather-wise, you should be fine. So there's nothing wrong with that. I don't see the other comments there. So in summary, like I said, just if you're just tuning in, not a whole lot to worry about tonight. I think that, again, as that front gets a little bit closer, could see a thin line of storms form. So if you happen to go ahead and go on to bed, if you get woken up by a clap of thunder or something, don't be shocked if you do that. Right now, it's looking like the chances of seeing severe weather with this line is pretty thin. So I just don't see a whole lot to worry about. So after this front moves through, it's going to cool off. So tomorrow is going to be way cooler than it was today. So today we got above 70 degrees. It's really nice. A little windy, but definitely not. A little humid too. Tomorrow, way different story. Going to have temperatures in the 40s for highs. So just be prepared. Winter is by no means over, so just keep that in mind. And we'll recover a little bit for the weekend, and then we'll have another chance for rain next week. Don't really see a lot of severe weather chances with this next system early next week. But again, this just bears watching. But so like I said, so after this front moves through midnight-ish, depending on where you're at, then it's going to be colder. It's going to be winter. It's going to feel like February tomorrow. I promise you that. You're welcome, Dak. Thank you. No problem there. So if something radically changes between now and when the front moves through, I will definitely come back on. I don't see that being the case. So just for grins, we'll expand this out a little bit and just kind of give you a better flavor for this whole system before we sign off here. And you can see as you get up into Oklahoma, getting all these little circles or hail markers, and then get over into the Memphis, Tennessee area. They've had some hailstorms over there. So thankfully, the main weather story has not been us. It has been in other parts of the country. Not great for them, but and in close proximity, it's been Oklahoma. And like I said, this afternoon, early this morning, this area of Oklahoma, the air thunderstorms in Oklahoma, we thought, quite frankly, would be closer to Dallas-Fort Worth, but I'm not going to be complaining about that because it is something that we could have definitely saw some worse weather than we wanted to, and thankfully we didn't. So that's always good news because unfortunately we will have plenty of other chances as the spring rolls on. Let's see, Patty, you're welcome. First of all, how long will the cold temperatures last? Oh, I'd probably say until Saturday. So like I said, we'll probably see temperatures in the 40s tomorrow, 50s on Friday. We'll get back up into the 60s on Saturday and Sunday. The cold snap won't last very long, so you don't have to worry about that. But it's just, compared to today especially, it is going to feel cold tomorrow because temperatures in the 70s today, temperatures in the 40s tomorrow. So it is going to be quite a shock. Although we're not talking about temperatures, unseasonably cold in that regard. Now, I will say this, Thursday night, Friday morning, probably see temperatures in the 20s. So it's definitely going to be cold. We're probably going to get below freezing. So it's going to get cold for a little bit. But like I said, this weekend is going to be nice, being in the 60s before our next system comes in on the 1st of next week. So don't see any other comments. If I see comments later, I will definitely address them when I get back online. Let's see. Other than that, let me check my YouTube page. And by the way, if you don't know, I also stream on YouTube. So if that is your channel of choice, you can follow me there. And lastly, like I said, I thought about chasing today. I started out, didn't go very far, turned around because it looked like it was going to be a dud, and it definitely turned out to be a dud from that standpoint. But I say that for in the future, especially when we don't have storms that will directly impact Dallas-Fort Worth, you'll definitely see me streaming more over this chase season. I have some new equipment to stream with. So I say that to say this. My goal is to stream on Facebook and YouTube. Facebook does some goofy things with live streams sometimes. YouTube is a little more free in that regard as far as throttling and things like that. So just kind of giving you a heads up. If you want to follow me on YouTube, then you could go ahead and do that. You'll get a live notification if you follow me there as well. But the goal is to stream on Facebook and YouTube same time if I can. If I can't stream on one of those channels, I will definitely try to let everybody know ahead of time which one I'll do. And the default will probably be YouTube because they have a lot more lenient streaming standards and they don't tend to throttle as much. So, but I'll talk about all that when we get closer to that. So, like I said, severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock, which is about 3 minutes away. And then after that, I think we're done. Like I said, would be shocked to see a thin line of storms move through the Metroplex between now and midnight. So just be aware of that. Thank you, Paula. Appreciate you. And you're welcome. And like I said, I'll come back if I need to. Don't think I will, but I will come back as always if I need to. I appreciate everybody watching, everybody's support. And as always, I'm watching the weather so you don't have to. Hope everyone has a great rest of your night, however long that is for you, which is not really long for me. Hope you have a good Thursday, and we'll talk to you soon.